Hi, welcome back to my channel and to my new valley. Today we're going to complete Snow White's friendship quests from the new Disney Dreamlight Valley DLC, the Wishblossom Ranch. So, let's get started. Unlocking Snow White is pretty easy. Once you purchase the Wishblossom Ranch DLC, check your mailbox and then head to the Dreamlight Castle. Once inside, take the train and voila! There's Snow White. To be honest, I'm not sure what happened to the first 3 minutes of entering the Wishblossom Ranch. I probably just forgot to record it. But it was mostly just a horse tutorial, so once you're past that, that's where we'll be starting. Talk to Snow White and then follow her to the cave. You're going to use your horse to break the red crystals and then enter the cave. Once inside, you're going to keep walking until you meet the giant wish blossom. You're going to talk to them and then we're going to find 3 different red crystals to destroy inside the cave. You can find the first crystal behind the giant gold vine. The second is across the wooden bridge. And the third is up the staircase. Once you've destroyed all 3, you're going to head back to the giant wish blossom, and then we're going to meet Tink. We're going to talk to Tink, and she's going to ask us to destroy 10 dead wish blossoms. Once you've destroyed all 10, you're going to talk to Tink, and then you're going to follow her to another spot inside the cave. We're going to talk to Tink one more time, and then return to the Wishblossom Ranch. We're going to talk to Snow White, and she's going to give us a brush that we can now use to brush our horses. After we're done brushing our horse, we're going to talk to Snow White and then to Scrooge. He's going to have us place Snow White's house, and then once we build it, we're going to welcome Snow White to our new ranch. Of course, you're going to talk to Snow White to start her first friendship quest. And you're going to follow her to the Care Blossom Topiary, located at the front of Wishblossom Ranch. We're going to talk to Snow White, and she's going to send us to collect 2 pyrite gems, 12 dry wood, 10 pebbles, and 6 rusty hinges. You're going to use everything you've collected to repair the topiary, and then talk to Snow White. Then we need to gather 15 reclaimed barnwood, 5 pink crocus flowers, 4 purple crocus flowers, and 2 yellow crocus flowers. We're going to craft the blooming rock garden and place them around the topiary. You're going to talk to Snow White and then test out the new saddle she gives you. You're going to take a picture of your horse wearing its new saddle and show it to Snow White. Then Snow White's going to ask you to get your horse to a special bonus horse sparkle. You can only get these horse sparkles once a day on one horse. To get them, you pet your horse, brush your horse, and feed them all 3 of their favorite foods. Finally, you're going to talk to Snow White to finish this quest. To start Snow White's second friendship quest, we're going to talk to Snow White just like always, and she's going to give us a pie to bring to Cruella. We're going to give the pie to Cruella, and honestly, she hates it. So we're going to report back to Snow White. Next, we need to gather 3 black silk flowers, 10 sequin strands, 3 measuring tape snails, and we're going to use those to craft a horse plushie for Cruella. You're going to place the plushie near her house, and then we're going to talk to Snow White. She's going to ask us to cook the natural cloak dye. You're going to give it to Snow White. Then you're going to bring it to Cruella. Then we're talking to Snow White again. And she's going to send us to repair the cloak at a nearby crafting station. We're going to put on the cloak and then talk to Snow White. She's going to have us check the topiary at the beginning of Wishblossom Ranch, and once there, we're going to talk to Snow White to finally finish this quest. Just like any other quest, we're going to start this one by talking to Snow White, and then we're headed to Cruella's house. Once inside, we're going to talk to Cruella, and then we're going to talk to Snow White again. Then we're going to talk to Olaf and gather 4 wire coat hangers. We're going to give the hangers to Olaf, and then we're going to head to talk to Wally. Next, we need to collect 10 antique clothing irons. Once you get all 10, we're going to give them to Wally, and then talk to Snow White. Next, we're headed inside Cruella's house to take a picture of all the copycat mannequins. Then we're going to talk to Cruella and then talk to Snow White, and she's going to give us a new blanket for our horse. We're going to put the blanket on our horse and then talk to Cruella. Next, we're going to check the topiary at the beginning of Wishblossom Ranch, and finally, we're going to talk to Snow White to finish this quest. And of course, to start the next quest, we're going to talk to Snow White. She's going to ask us to pass out invites to Mulan, Tiana, and Daisy. Next, we're reporting back to Snow White, and she's going to ask us to decorate the ranch with 3 tables and 8 lampposts. She's going to give us all the materials she wants us to decorate with. Once you place everything, you're going to talk to Snow White, and then you're going to start a quest with Daisy, Mulan, and Tiana. I'm going to start with Mulan's quest, so you're going to talk to Mulan first. Place 5 pieces of furniture in the fairground. Then you're going to jump over these obstacles 5 times with your horse and then report back to Mulan. Next, we're going to start the quest with Daisy, so of course we're going to talk to her, and then she's going to have us customize our horse 1 time and change our outfit into something a bit more colorful. We're going to take a selfie with our horse, and then we're going to report back to Daisy. We're going to start the final part of this quest, which is talking to Tiana. We need to make 1 jelly salad and 1 alpine fish cake. Once we've made both of those recipes, we're headed to give them to Tiana, and then next we're headed to talk to Snow White. Snow White's going to ask us to meet her at the topiary at the beginning of the Wishblossom Ranch, and once there, we're going to talk to her. We're talking to Cruella, and then we need to talk to Tink. If you don't have Tinkerbell unlocked yet, no need to worry. You can still talk to her inside the cave we met her in earlier. After our conversation with Tink, we're going to head all the way back to the topiary at the beginning of Wishblossom Ranch, and we're going to use our watering can to water the topiary. We're going to place the Wishblossom Fair trophy near the topiary, and then you're going to take a picture and talk to Snow White to finish this quest. You're going to take a picture to celebrate, and then finally you're going to talk to Snow White to complete all of her friendship quests. Alright, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check back tomorrow for a video on Cruella and Tinkerbell's friendship quests. Bye!